Hello again, Gooners. Yes, my tone is very low today because, of course, we lost for the first time this season against Chelsea. Let's not get too depressed about it. I'll give you some reasons to be cheerful later, won't I? Yeah, perhaps. There's some transfer news, not a lot of it about at the moment. Obviously, it's not transfer crazy season, is it, at the moment? A lot of injury news, some news about loanees, and, well, it's not all good, is it? Obviously I'm upset about us losing to Chelsea, but then again, let's remind ourselves about the good things. We had more shots on goal than they did, and also what else? What are the other good things? I'm kind of clutching at straws here. Santi Cazorla didn't have his best game. I felt he was. Well, that's probably why Ramirez got man of the match from Alan Smith. He decided who was man of the match. My man of the match, you'll be quite surprised to hear, was Carl Jenkinson. I keep giving him man of the match now. That's two in a row. I think I've been one of his detractors in as much as I thought he wasn't ready to play this many games already. I mean, in a row, it's great for his confidence. Let's hope he continues with this kind of form because, quite honestly, he looks good enough. He even looks good enough for England the way he's playing at the moment. He's certainly give Glenn Johnson a run for his money, and I'm a big fan of Glenn Johnson. So I say that with that in mind. Kieran Gibbs, another good game from him. I thought he did pretty well. Carl Jenkinson made one mistake. One mistake. It's not much. Can I say the rest Can I say that about the rest of the defence? Not really. I don't think they really. The two centre backs, Koscielny and Vermaelen, didn't really keep control of Torres, who was kind of on the rampage even before scoring a goal, and after looked quite dangerous. Could have scored another, but let's not forget we made more chances than Chelsea did. We let ourselves down really with our defending from set pieces, which is something we really thought Steve Bold would sort out. But clearly, he's done a lot of work. But it's not all. You can't change everything overnight, can you? So we've got a history now of defending badly at set pieces. So yet again, it's been our Achilles heel, which brings me nicely on to our injuries. Right? Who's got an Achilles problem? Well, according to the official website, Thomas Rosicky, 2 weeks more. We've got to wait for him to come back and transform our fortunes. And, of course, we'll need that because we are lacking in the midfield department, just like I said we might be. Abu Diaby, thigh strain, is out for 3 weeks. And when he gets back, he'll probably get another strain of some sort and be out for another considerable length of time. Let's not forget we've got Andre Arshavin, who can play in various positions, but further forward than Diaby's been playing. He's come out and said in the programme he's got the best figures ever. Not figure, best figures, meaning he's done very well in the fitness tests and his endurance levels are high. He's going to have to endure a lot of misery, it seems, not even sitting on the bench against Chelsea, but he certainly had a good game against Coventry City. And Coventry City, of course, is the team where Connor Henderson finds himself. I wish you a lot of luck, Connor. I don't think you need it because you're a class act. And go and prove me right at Coventry. Craig Eastman and Sanchez Watt, likewise, are off for 3 months, but to another team, beginning with C, Colchester United. Wish those two the very best. I've got to say, I'm sorry to say it, lads, but I don't think I'll be very surprised anyway if you really make the grade at Arsenal. But clearly, you're going to make the grade somewhere, so it's nothing to be miserable about, really, unless you're an Arsenal fan like Carl Jenkinson. This guy's been so impressive, I just can't believe it. And another Arsenal fan, I think, is Nico Yanaris. He played reasonably well against Coventry, a 6-1 win, of course. It was good to see Olivier Giroud score his first goal, and didn't he come close? Didn't he come close against Chelsea? Did everything right going around the goalkeeper, Petr Cech, but then he hit the side netting with his shot. So I think there were reasons to be cheerful, and I'm not at all disappointed with the performance. Mannone didn't exactly cover himself in glory, but he didn't make a complete fool of himself either, and is a better goalkeeper than Fabianski, as I've kept saying. And talking of goalkeepers, of course, I've got my doubts about these goalkeeping injuries. Lukasz Fabianski, he's got a shoulder problem ever since the Poland game, but he had another injury prior to that. So every time he goes away on international duty, he's fine. When he comes back, he's injured. Didn't we hear something similar with Manuel Almunia? And it all turned out to be possibly a lie. Never seemed like he was really injured, did it? And then I'm going to try and say his name right now. I learnt how to say this guy who gets called Sir Chesney and all sorts. Wojciech No, it's Wojciech. Wojciech. It's got a k at the end. I've been speaking to this Polish guy who's an expert on this, and he told me the surname is Szczęsny. Szczęsny. So Szczęsny is out for 2 to 3 weeks with an ankle problem. But this Polish guy also told me, I'll keep him nameless unless he wants to credit him for his views, but he told me that Polish goalkeepers are notoriously moody. And that made me wonder whether Szczęsny is out of action because of his mood. It's a mood swing. It's not an ankle problem at all. That's just a suspicion of mine. I wouldn't go around saying it's a fact. Okay. What's the other good news? Well, of course, Jack Wilshere is going to be back in action. You can see him playing for the under-21s on Monday. So, yeah, that's about it as far as good news is concerned. I'm going to keep it brief because I've been pretty busy lately, which is why I haven't been doing as many of these vlogs as I would like. If someone wants to sponsor it, though, I might find a bit more time. Just before I go, though, bit of good news. Keisuke, am I saying it right? I've gone into sort of Polish mode now. I can't switch back to Japanese, but Keisuke Honda, who's now at CSKA Moscow, could be on the move. I think, where did I read it? HTC, is it, or something? Some website, anyway, claims that we, Chelsea, Manchester City and Everton are all in contention to sign this very talented Japanese international. I don't really see him fitting in at Arsenal, I'll be honest. I think he's a very unusual Japanese player in as much as he seems to come, let's say, he comes across like he's not as much of a team player, perhaps. Perhaps I'm wrong in saying that, but that's how he comes across. He comes across as more of an individual. So when I say he's not a team player, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. As you know, I'm a big fan of Andrei Arshavin, but let's look at Andrei Arshavin's career at Arsenal. It's not been the best. He's produced some fantastic moments, but he's not had a great career. So Honda's not quite as individual as Arshavin, but he has certainly got that individualistic spirit, and I don't think he's going to be the sort of guy to toe the line the way Ryo Miyaichi does, for instance. So Keisuke Honda, I don't think he's going to come to Arsenal. Everton, I can see that happening. I'll tell you why, because I really like the story that I read. The story goes that Honda joins Everton, which frees up Fellaini, who can move elsewhere, and we'd love Fellaini, wouldn't we? But can we afford him? That's the big question. Looking at the amount of money we've made, I think the recent figures released showed we made in excess of £30 million. So if we actually got round to spending some of that money, yes, we can afford Fellaini. So somebody have a word in the boardroom if you're well connected. And let's not be too disheartened about the Chelsea defeat. I heard from somebody very recently, within the last couple of weeks, that Chelsea are awful employers. Somebody I know was recently employed by them, and I'm not going to mention any names, but I heard that they are absolutely terrible to work for, and I kind of got that impression with the way they've handled the whole John Terry thing. That they're not the best club to work for, and I really felt that that Di Matteo, well, he's kind of when he's doing his press conference, he's got his communications officer alongside him, telling him what he can and can't say. He couldn't even reveal whether or not John Terry was playing prior to the match, so it's not the ideal atmosphere to ply your trade in. And that's one thing we've got at Arsenal. We've got stability. We're going in the right direction. So I know I'm critical of the club sometimes, but I think today against Chelsea we were just unlucky. Yes, it's true. We should have improved the goalkeeping position, but we've been saying that for a while. Or I've been saying that for a while. Manoni is better than average keeper, but he's not the greatest. And if you want to win the title, you've got to have a pretty good keeper, generally speaking. Don't have to be the greatest, but maybe one of the better ones in the division. And I can't honestly say, as much as I like Manoni, that he's one of the better goalkeepers in this division. He's just better than Fabianski. That doesn't mean he's good enough. Not yet, anyway. Maybe he'll improve. He's done okay, but I think we need more than okay from that position. I think it's a crucial position. Not everyone would agree with me. Some people think you can just have 10 outfield players that are the best in the world, and then you can have anyone in goal and they'll do a good enough job. I totally disagree. I think arguably the most crucial position of all, because obviously if you're keeping clean sheets, you're notching up points. Then all you've got to do is score at the other end, which obviously everyone says is the hardest job of all. And Olivier Giroud is testament to that fact, of course. So that's all for me for this time. Until the next time, up the Gooners.